What's good, y'all? Hope you guys are having a splendid day, evening. Currently it is 3 in the morning, and I just had to, had to sit here and talk about this because a lot of friends have hit me up asking about this particular thing, if they should do it, if they shouldn't do it. And the topic I'm going to be covering is, should you do Instacart? Now, if you don't know what Instacart is, basically, if you've done Uber Eats, Postmates, Grubhub, DoorDash, even if you haven't done it, but if you know of it, basically it's a ride-sharing app. You pick things up, deliver it to people, boom, done. Yeah, so that's basically the gist of it. It's a delivery app like Uber Eats, Postmates, blase, blase, blase. Today I'm gonna tell you guys why you should and why you shouldn't do it, and if the pay is good or not. So hope you enjoy the video, relax, sit tight, and let me get that started for you guys. So I'm gonna start with the pros, only because myself, I find a lot of pros than cons when it comes to Instacart versus when I use like Uber Eats, Postmates, and DoorDash or Grubhub, because it's a lot more organized. And what I mean by that is, like, when you're using another ride-sharing app like Uber Eats, if you know what I mean, when you go in the app, you don't know what orders. You just click go, and then you can start driving along, and an order will pop up on your screen. Boom, you hit that, and it navigates you to wherever you need to go to pick up the food, or wherever you need to pick up. But when you're in Instacart, batches will show up. Batches, if you don't know what batches are orders that you need to pick up. So the difference between Uber Eats and Instacart is that Uber Eats, you're only picking up like food, but with Instacart, you're doing groceries. So when you're basically doing grocery shopping, but for someone else, which is already paid for. And how it works is, a batches will show up on the screen, right? And when a batch shows up, they'll say there's 5 available. There can be 1 available, 2, 3, 4, 5. There can be 10 available. It all depends on the time of day, because certain times of the day it's busy, certain times of the day it's really like calm. My suggestion is that if you go during noon to 7 or 6:30-ish p.m., you should be in a good time zone to start doing it. But that is like the first pro that I have, is the organization part, because I really feel as though it's a lot more organized. Everything, like how you're getting paid and how you can find your information. I feel like everything's a lot more self-explanatory and organized on Instacart versus Uber Eats. So that's my first pro. I don't know about any of you guys, but that is my first pro. That's something that I really enjoy, is that how organized it is and how easy it is to find things. So yeah. All right, so my second pro is, I like that compared to when you're doing Uber Eats, you're not driving as much as you would be doing Uber Eats. Wait, let me see. You do drive a lot with Instacart, but it's not like Uber Eats where you go pick up the food and then you go right back into your car and go right back to the house you have to deliver it to, or apartment, or you know what I mean. With Instacart, you have to literally go in, pick their groceries for them, and you're in there. If you're not, all right, so me, I'm pretty quick, so I can get in there within 20 to 45 minutes and I'm out, like that, depending on how big the order is. But let's say you have 50, I'm just going to put out a number out there. Say you have like 50 items you have to pick for, let's say, Josh or whoever, and Josh has 50 items. Depending on the person, and if you're new to the grocery store, it could take an hour, but that's just considering it. And the only reason why I find that as a pro is because it saves so much gas. I'm not always spending gas when I'm doing Instacart because, I'm not always driving on the road. I'm not always in and out. I'll be in the store for a little bit, or I'll be here in the car, delivering, but I'm not going to be constantly in the car, I'll be in the store most of the time. And that I like that because say you have an order that's an hour, right? It takes an hour. That's just your day's just going by. So you're not going to be on the road wasting gas, burning your miles just like that instantly, compared if you're doing another ride sharing app. Now, if you know what I mean, if you do all the ride sharing apps, then props to you. You get what I'm trying to say. Even if you don't do it, you probably know what I'm trying to say, But that's just me. I know a lot of people have different opinions about that, but that's one of the pros that I have. And yeah, that's pro number 2. All right, so pro number 3. When like in general, if you are in the store and you can't find something, one thing I really appreciate about Instacart is that you can come up with a replacement. So say they have a Honey Nut Cheerios, right? But they don't have the Honey Nut Cheerios that you want. You can replace that with like a Great Value brand that is Cheerios, but it's just not the Honey Nut Cheerios, It's not the brand Honey Nut Cheerios, but it is Honey Nut. It's like still Cheerios, but Great Value. And if you don't know what Great Value is like the same product, but it's just like a different brand, It's not from the same company. That's basically what Great Value is. And I really like that because, for instance, I was at H Mart the other day and someone needed, what was it? It was like tofu or something, but they didn't have the specific brand that was on the list. So I had to scan a replacement. And this is for anything, whenever you find an item, your phone on the app on Instacart, you'll click found item, but you have to scan the barcode to make sure it's the right item. So if it's not the right item, then you can either scan for a replacement, mark it as can't find, or you can put it as a refund. And when you mark it as a refund, it'll go straight to the customer and they'll get notified if they need a refund if you can't find a replacement or you can't find the actual item. And if you can't find the actual item, when you scan the barcode, that's when the replacement comes in. Like, hey, I can't find the same brand that you want, but here, I can exchange it for this one. It's the same exact item, different branding. That's all, That is also another thing that I like because it saves a lot of time, because if they didn't have that option, then you're going to have a angry customer and they'll probably leave no tip. And speaking of tip, that leads me right into my next pro. All right, so I know everyone's going to be asking, how is the pay? How is the pay? For me, it really depends on you. It depends on your hustle. If you're someone that, is hustling, you get 5 orders at once, they're all $20. That's what? That's $100 right there, plus the tip. Now, when you factor in tip, most of the time people tip, but you're going to still have those people out there that won't tip, and it's just very annoying. But most of the time people tip. Now, the thing with your payment is that sometimes, like, it's a con, so I don't want to spoil what's the con. But I'll just say, when you want to cash out, there's like a certain rule that you have to follow before you can cash out. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm gonna save it for the con. No, but the pay is, what I tell people is, so on Instacart you can find orders that are going for like $40, $35. But people fail to realize that you got to think, yeah, you can get that $40 order, but then you got like 80 things you got to pick. So if you're picking 80 things, right? And it kind of brings me back to my last couple, the Pro, I don't know what number it was. But what I said about, yeah, you don't drive a lot. But again, if you're in the store for an hour, then that's less time that you have to go get more orders and get more income coming your way, your hustle, your grind. That time adds up. But for me, so say you got like a $45 order, right? Okay, that's $45 plus tip. Okay, you probably got a lot of money. But think about it this way, right? Say max, you got like 80 things you gotta get. You're gonna be in there for like half your day and wasting like what, half your day in the store getting 80 items? I don't think so. So honestly, if you were to get a big order and you're fast, props to you. But say you're slow, right? You don't really know the store well. It's the first time in the store. Then go for the small order, because when small orders are like $20, you can get like one item or two items. You get $20, from that without the tip. That's not even including tip. You get the $20, boom. And then you get to another one, another 20, another 20. It just piles up. But you got one big order, right? And comparing, let's say you compare you and someone else. You got one big order. It's like $45, but it's like 80 items. You got another order. It's like 4 or 5 items, $20, but he just keeps going and going. By the time you get $45, person A is gonna have, like 100 or 80. So don't always go for the big price numbers when it comes to Instacart. That's my opinion. That's my tip. I don't know if you consider that a pro, but that's for me. The pay is really good because like I said, it goes back to your hustle. If you hustle and bustle, you can make a lot of money. Because, for instance, the other day was my first day, and I only did I think I did only like 3 batches. Again, batches are orders. It's just, if you need me to say orders, I can say orders, but batches are what they're called. I did 3 batches, right? When the tip came in, altogether, I made like $100 at minimum. I don't know the max, but at minimum, without the tips included, I think I made around $100 off 3. Now, consider I do a whole day of Instacart. I could have made at least $200 to $400 depending on how fast I move. Because in my area, I'm used to all the grocery stores, so I'm pretty, I know a lot of grocery stores in and out. Like when you start doing Instacart, you walk in and you start to picture the layout of where everything is, and then you start picking it up. You start getting faster and faster, and the faster you get, by the way, the more tips are better. So the faster you get, the more tips you get. Remember that. So that's my pro for that one, and yep, that's my pro for that one. All right, let's get into the cons. For my cons, there's not really much for the cons. There's like 1 or 2 things. One con that I really do not like about this is that when you're in the list, right? So when you get to the grocery store of where you need to go, you'll get a list on the items that you need to pick, like the produce, the canned foods, cereal, whatever. Sometimes, I'm not even saying sometimes, all the time, when you go to a grocery store, it doesn't show you the aisle number, which is very frustrating. But at the same time, it kind of helps you out, because if you don't have the aisle number, you can start finding things on your own. And once you find things on your own, then you start to have an idea of where things are at. You start to see the layout of how the grocery store is situated. But for me, I ran into a problem the other day when I was at an H Mart, And if you guys don't know what H Mart is, it's basically a supermarket. They have all different types of culture foods, like American, Middle Eastern, Asian, Spanish food, whatever it is, you name it. I ran into a problem the other day because I had to find a certain type of tofu, and they didn't have the specific brand that showed up on the item for the customer's list. So when I ended up finding it, but the thing was, the app where it showed me the location, you could see the location, but you can't see like the aisle number. And what I mean is, for example, if you got tomatoes, right? They'll say produce, but it won't tell you where at the produce. It'll just say produce. But so when I went to go find the tofu was actually on the other side of where it usually is. Usually it's like where the produce was, because you know tofu, you find tofu literally in every grocery store. You'll find tofu in the produce section. But for me, I had to go all the way to the other side, which was kind of a pain because it was already a long order as it was. It was about like 24 items with one. It was only one order though. Some orders you'll get like two people having two orders that you have to do, so you go to two separate houses. But that's besides the point. Basically, it was on the other side, and I was already like, you know, I was behind because that was the first time being in that H Mart. I've never really gone to that H Mart. I've been to an H Mart, but it moved. And so for me, that was the first time I was really stressed out because I was trying to get these orders, you know, I was trying to get these orders done quickly as possible for the customer. So I asked two employees. It was kind of frustrating because, you know, they don't really speak the best English, so I couldn't really get help from them. So I had to ask a customer out. Another person was very kind enough. He told me, "Oh yeah, it's on the other side of the grocery store." So you know, it was already packed as it was, so I had to go around the other side, back into the aisle, and then go straight, and you know, all these different turns just to get it. But that's one thing that's frustrating for me, is that you don't know the aisle number, so it's kind of like you're on your own at that point. But you know, I'm 19 years old. You know, I'm gonna use my own, you know, brain to find this stuff. I'm just saying it's a lot more helpful if Instacart. And Instacart, if you guys ever need a tip, please show the aisle numbers, because I know I'm not the only one. A lot of people find this as one of their most pet peeves, and that's not just me. Even when I look at different reviews, I've heard people say that too. Like, hey, you can't see the aisle number. So that's that. That's one of my pet peeves. I don't know if that's your pet peeve. That's one for me. And yeah, that's my first con. I'd say it's like the biggest con, but one con I do have is that when you do a delivery, and if you get into Instacart, you'll know what I mean. Say you have a delivery, right? And the grocery store is 5 minutes from you. Okay, so you know, 5 minutes, the house may be 2 minutes away. Wrong. Do not ever assume that it's gonna be 2 to 10 minutes away. Instacart, you need to fix this. Please, you guys need to fix this. So when you do Instacart, if you have a grocery store that is 5 minutes away, you could actually be done doing that. You'd be like, boom, I'm done. You think, oh, it's a breeze, but then you're wrong. And then next second you know, you gotta drive 2 cities out. You gotta drive like 45 minutes. 2 days ago, I was doing an order. I had to do Shoppers. It was like 10 minutes from my 5-10 minutes from my house driving. And then what? Next thing you know, I gotta drive like 45 minutes outside of the city, because the house that I'm delivering to is 45 minutes out, which made no sense in my opinion. I do not know why Instacart does that. That's just what they do. I don't know. I want them to fix that. That's one con that I have. I think that's gonna wrap the video. I'm kind of still of an amateur when it comes to, you know, Instacart. This is kind of like my first or second week. So please do not hate on me. I'm doing the best I can. That I'm doing the best with the experience that I know. I'm not really experienced, but I have seen some things in my second week. So I have some like knowledge on if it's like the pros and cons in my opinion. I know a lot of reviews will have different opinions on Instacart. That's me. Would I prefer it over Uber Eats? Hell yeah. Would I prefer over Grubhub? Yes. The gas and maintenance is a lot more cheaper, and it'll save you a lot more maintenance doing Instacart than doing Uber Eats. Uber Eats, it's like literally you're in the car the whole time, because when you pick up food, you literally go in there, pick up one bag or 2 bags at most, and you go back into your car within 5 minutes or 10 minutes, depending if they're cooking the food. But with Instacart, at least you're saving gas, because you're in the grocery store a lot, so you have time. Your car's not always running, you know. But I would prefer Instacart over Uber Eats. I don't know if that's anyone else. That's me. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I really hope for viewers out there, if you want to do Instacart, it is very beneficial for you. It really helped me out during COVID because my job closed. I currently work for Amazon, but as a side job, you know, I started doing Uber Eats. Then after Uber Eats, I still do Uber Eats. Then I moved to Instacart. Instacart saved my life, honestly, because I'm getting a lot more income with Instacart than I do Uber Eats. But if you guys want me to do a video on pros and cons of Uber Eats, I can also do that. Comment down below, message me. You guys know my number, Snapchat, whatever. And yeah, I can do that. I can do an Uber Eats pros versus cons. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like I said, I'm still an amateur for Instacart. Don't hate on me if I missed out a lot of things, and I know I probably did, but like I said, I'm still new. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and yeah, I'll be back with another one. Peace. I'm out.